What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 204th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. I am your host, SBJ, and with me today, I have Will.
Yay! Hooray! I have nothing. Wow!
Classic Will.
Great start to the show.
I just stumbled, tripped, and fell. I was like, quick, think of a meme. And then I had no memes to grab
That's
for.
the constant dialogue that's going in my head all the time is quick, think of a meme.
The struggles you have. And that other delightful voice you hear is Travis.
And early reports are coming back from Kalos. It looks like Bernie Sanders is not going to get the lead he expected from the Kalos primary.
You mean Bernie Sandshrew?
Bernie Sandshrew and Hillary...
Quick, think of a meme.
Clinton? Wait, no, it's
Clinton Dragonite. I can't.
Clinton Knight.
It's surprisingly difficult to think of a pun of Hillary Clinton with Dragon. I mean, you could do like Donald Tyran Trump. You can do that one.
Cordilly Clinton.
Yeah, that one works.
That's pretty good. That's yeah. Let's Will,
moving right on.
Will, how was your weekend?
I mean, it's been pretty low key, pretty lame. I mean, you heard me trying to play Cooking Mama on Friday night. That was not going so well.
By Cooking Mama, you mean The Division?
That's not the game that I was swearing at. I was actually playing God of War and claiming I was playing Cooking Mama.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was swearing so much.
I'm not a fan of the God of War series.
I was having a good time. And then I've been rereading A Wrinkle in Time, which I think I haven't read since I was 12 years old. And it is certainly a different book when you're an adult reading it.
Is it different good? Because I also think I read it when I was around 12.
Oh, I'm loving it. Absolutely. Yeah. But it's like you pick up on things that
Sure.
I just like totally it didn't even pass my comprehension when I was very young and reading it.
It's like when you watch a movie when you're younger and then you rewatch it again and you're like, oh, look at all these sexual references I never picked up as a kid.
You know what? That's exactly the experience. Because there's this whole thing, right? I don't know if anybody remembers or if they haven't read it recently, but you always think about
spoiler alert.
Okay, fine, for a like 60-year-old book almost now, but like where the dad has disappeared and he's been gone for a year, and like the mom is kind of like, I'm still young and
she's swinging.
But she's not. But she's like, she has this very, very quietly mentioned struggle of, I'm still young and I still love my husband, but what am I doing with my life? He's gone. Right. And you don't, when you're a kid, you don't pick up on that at all. Well, there you go. It's a really good book. It's a very interesting story with some very deep concepts. And I bought you can buy the whole, all 5 books in the series for $30 on your Kindle. So
love my Kindle.
I have not been a reader in a very long time, and ever since I got that Kindle, I'm like, right? Last night you did not see me on the PS4 because I was reading a book.
No, no one was on PS4 last night. Surprisingly, I went to bed early too.
No, I checked, and because I always creep on you guys. You and Tyler were playing Final Fantasy 14, and you killed Odin because you were bragging about it on Twitter.
Yes. That's true. Tyler wasn't on last night though because his PS4 might have been on, but I was playing solo pretty much all night.
All right.
That's what I was saying. Travis, anything new with you?
I've just been enjoying the weather. All of a sudden, it's actually warm. It was like in the 50s Fahrenheit today and yesterday and Friday out of nowhere because it's February in Michigan and that's not supposed to happen. So, I mean, everyone that I've seen around this area is like losing their minds with how warm it is.
I was actually really concerned about you this morning, Travis.
Why is that?
Well, because the first thing I do in the morning is turn on the news. And the first thing that was on the news was about a really horrible thing that happened in Michigan overnight. And I was like, I don't know if that's anywhere near where Travis lives or not.
I'm guessing it's so horrible that we wouldn't want to talk about it on the show, but
Correct.
given that I don't know what you're referring to, you should tell me what that is after this so that I can know if I should watch out for anything, if I should like.
All right, well, Steve can edit this if he feels like it.
Eesh. Yeah, I'll probably cut that out.
You should leave in just, yeah, I'll probably cut that out.
Man, well, let's see what's new here, because we're not allowed to talk about Pokemon for another minute and a half. There's a joke in there somewhere. So, if you're active on the Slack community or follow me on Twitter, I've gotten pretty into Final Fantasy 14, which is on PS4, PS3, and PC. And by the time you're listening to this, the Mac version should be available, and you can crossplay with everyone in every console. And yeah, that's really cool. And if you are interested in getting into a fairly easy MMO, our guild, the It's Super Effective Guild, is recruiting new members. And if anyone knows me, and when I get into a game, I get deep into a game. So I don't think with the Destiny drought that I used to cling to, I've moved over to Final Fantasy for now, and having a good time with it. So if you're interested in that and you have questions, you can tweet at me or Slack me, and I will fill you in about that. Otherwise, I'm trying to run.
Cactars?
There are. Speaking of Cactars, we are on the server Cactar.
Oh, wow. Well, then, I mean, I have no reason not to, because Cactars are like my favorite thing.
Cactars are really cool. Yeah.
Not Chocoblos?
Cactars is so much cooler than Chocobos.
Yeah. Although you can feed your Chocobos fruit and change the color of their feathers by what kind of fruit you feed them.
Here is an actual conversation.
That's how my hair works.
Here's how an actual conversation I had with Steve. Steve, are you riding a Chocobo? Steve responds, no, I have a unicorn.
Yeah, man, I got a unicorn. I'm real cool. I play a healer in Final Fantasy 14. I really like it. It's the first time I've ever played a healer in an MMO. Good time. Oh, speaking of MMO and Final Fantasy 14, this kind of relates to what we're going to be doing in about a week. Travis and I, as well as 3 other individuals, will be doing a Pokemon D&D.
Whose names cannot be said because they're in the witness protection program.
I mean, I could rattle off names, but unless...
No, go ahead.
We're going to be doing a... so, when I say Pokemon D&D, what I really mean is D&D. And I don't know what percentage of Pokemon equals that.
Because you will not be dungeon mastering this game.
Correct. Yes. I will not be the DM or the... Is it DM or GM?
For Dungeons and Dragons, it is DM for every other game because they cannot get... Because DM, I think, is a trademarked thing. All the other games say GM, Game Master.
Oh, okay. But DM is Dungeon Master.
Correct.
Okay. So we will be doing a X amount of... I don't know how many weeks, but think of it like a TV show. For 2 hours every week, we're going to be doing some D&D on Twitch. If you cannot see it on Twitch, we will be recording the audio version and putting it up as part of a podcast. It will probably be a separate podcast, not to bog down the It's Super Effective feed. And we'll still be doing our weekly It's Super Effective. But let me pull up a calendar real quick just so I can get you guys dates. First episode, which will be us creating our characters, will be on February 29th. Then the next episode will be February 7th. And then every episode after that will be on Tuesday. So you're going to look at... Well, I said February 7th? I meant March 7th. So then March 15th, March 22nd, March 29th. We're just doing the first 2 episodes on Monday, and then we're going to switch to Tuesday for everyone, because that's going to work better in the long run on everyone's schedule if we switch to Tuesday. First 2 episodes are Monday, just so we can start them, get them out there. And I've never played D&D before. Travis is very experienced.
Yeah, I've played a lot of D&D.
And Will has no interest.
But you can at least hang out with us in the Twitch chat, Will.
Will has better things to do. No, I mean, I'll probably be up in there making rude comments about your ridiculousness.
What if you have to be there because otherwise you wouldn't know if one of us named our character Will and was just like the entire time making fun of you.
That's fine. I think most people do that anyways.
Play D&D and name their characters Will?
Yep, and then make fun of me the whole time.
Oh no.
That's how I operate. That's how I live my life, in that firm belief that the rest of the world is making fun of me constantly.
Oh, that's not true. While we're on this subject for a little, we should say that Greg, who's gonna DM for us, has homebrewed, has customized the game so that Pokemon are involved in the world of Dungeons and Dragonites. So yeah, Steve and I really have no idea what we're getting into, but it should be a lot of fun.
Super mystery Dungeons and Dragonites.
That's really good.
That's actually really good. What's funny about that is Greg was one of the so Greg was on as one of the Kickstarter backers.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I say that, we're like one Kickstarter backer still has yet to be on. So I just remembered that now. But he was one of the most requested to come back just because somehow his rapport was very well liked. And so
somehow
you
say that like I didn't see it, but
somehow he upstaged me and people enjoyed his presence. But
well, I mean, there's a certain like misguided portion of our population that thinks Roselia and Roserade is a quality Pokemon versus the actual garbage that should be taken out. So there you go. Greg fans.
Greg wrote the what a script play campaign. That's the word. Greg wrote the campaign last fall, so it's been done for a while. I know he's put a lot of time and effort into it, so this isn't something that was a rushed thing. This is actually something we've been planning for a while, and most of the delays were just on my end. So very excited to start it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. And like I said earlier, it's going to be broken down into, think of it like a TV show, so it'll come to an end with a season. We'll start a second season if at all it's popular and it catches on, and then in that second season we could introduce maybe a new character. Maybe Travis gets hit by a bus in real life and he can't be there, so we write his character out. This got real grim, and then we bring somebody else in.
Edit that out.
Yeah, we've got a lot of dark references in this episode. Wow.
Total possibilities for other things if it's popular, and that would be up to our listeners if they want to watch or be invested in that. And again, I'll stress, I've never done any of this before. If you are not into D&D, I am in the same boat as you, and maybe that's something we can learn together if you care to watch. Woo, let's.
All you need to know: you roll the dice, you move your mice.
Your mice? The mouses?
Wow, am I the only one? Mousetrap.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've played Mousetrap, but there's more to it than that because you've got to actually build the Mousetrap.
That's
what is
in all of the marketing material. It says you roll the dice, you move your mice. I think it's also referenced in, let's see if I can snipe it, I think in Jumanji, because someone is saying like, why are we playing this game? I miss Mousetrap, where you just roll the dice, you move your mice. It might not be Jumanji, it might be a different movie altogether, but let's go to the phone, see if I'm right. Caller number 2, go ahead.
I'm gonna say it's Zathura.
What?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Jumanji in space.
Which is amazing. That's the second time we've talked about Zathura on this stupid podcast.
I mean, you're the one who just brought it up.
What is Zathura?
It's Jumanji in
It's the second
space.
time you brought this up.
Jumanji in space?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like.
Was I on this episode?
Yes.
What would you say, Will? Like 6 years ago that movie came out?
I don't know.
It's just Jumanji, except instead of a jungle game with animals, it's a space game with robots.
It came out in 2005.
Was Robin Williams in it?
No.
Oh.
It's just 2 kids.
No. Who's that dude? It's got a good-looking guy in it.
The good-looking guy. Me?
Not quite. I want to say Josh Hutcherson. Is he like? But what else has he been in?
This episode gets more and more grim as we go along.
He was in the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, maybe.
Zathura stars Josh Hutcherson. You call? I don't know. Did you just look it up?
Yes. That's how the internet works. Dax Shepard. Dax Shepard is the one. Maybe. I don't know. He's not that good looking.
Sounds like a Mass Effect character.
Ugh.
Listeners, call in and tell us who the attractive man in Zathura was. The prize is nothing. Color number 4, go ahead. Moving on.
Moving on to news. We got quite a bit of news. We can start with the news that I am not going to report on very well because I didn't watch any of it. But from my understanding, there was some video game competition over the weekend, and it ended like an hour ago, and somebody won that. So congrats.
Do you mean regionals?
Yes.
Okay, there were 2 regionals, Los Angeles and St. Louis. Los Angeles regionals is probably still going on.
Do they usually stream regionals?
Well, I think last year was the first year they experimented with it, and now it's regional, nationals, worlds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Because they I think they're ramping it up more because they have Kyle working for them on the inside now, and he goes out and hosts the streams, and the Jay Wits, both of them team up and provide their commentaries. So I think that they're kind of building out that arm of the organization.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is what it is. I looked up Pokemon.com. I didn't see any like final results, so we'll probably report on that next week if there's something interesting there. The other thing that recently ended is Pokemon Red versus Pokemon Blue happened in Splatoon as a Splatfest. And I think it was red and blue in every country except in Japan. It was red versus green.
Correct.
And the results came in this morning. Pokemon Red across worldwide was the more popular team in every country.
What? Incorrect.
Nope. Listen.
Edit your statement.
Listen. Pokemon Red was the more popular team in every country, except they lost in every country to Pokemon Blue and Pokemon Green.
Well, how does that work?
Because more people picked Pokemon Red, but Pokemon Blue won more games.
Pokemon Blue
the
had the better
discerning
players?
folks who chose Pokemon Blue.
Wow, I didn't know Splatfest was so complex.
That's 2 stats.
Will, did you think Splatfest was just that original Wii channel where you voted on things?
Everyone votes channel.
Do you like Mario or Link?
I used to love that channel.
That channel is so good. Do you like cats or dogs?
Gather up on the different things.
Yup.
And then
you could like bet on them too.
I wonder if they're gonna port that to Miitomo.
There'll probably be a voting thing in Miitomo. But yeah, Pokemon Red in every country was more popular, but Pokemon Blue and Green won every single country. Amazing. So the skilled players were not the Charizard pickers. But yeah,
take note of that, listeners.
That was.
I mean, you can say Charizard's cool, but you're just gonna lose.
That was a cool thing that Nintendo and Pokemon did, and hopefully, I mean, I wish I liked Splatoon more. It's a very good game, very fun. It just didn't hold on to me like other games. And what else we got? So moving from one competitive game to another, talk about Pokken. I feel like we haven't talked about it enough.
I feel like we talk about it every week.
all right. So I got a couple Pokken articles here. Is it March 21st is the release date?
March 11th? March 18th.
March 18th, yeah. So we're a little less than a month away from Pokken coming out on Wii U. I got a couple articles here. Wii U Pokemon fighting game Pokken Tournament gets nationwide open challenge. Anyone can compete in this open tournament. The events will be held on February 27th, the 20th anniversary of Pokemon. Winners of each regional event will advance to the 2016 U.S. National Championship that takes place on July 1st through 3rd in Columbus, Ohio. The following GameStops will host the qualifying tournaments. May I point out that this tournament is well scheduled before the game even comes out, which is a little weird. But anyways, we have a couple locations you can qualify if you care to be a Pokken champion at GameStop, where there's one in Plano, Texas.
Plano?
that not what I said? Plano?
Plano.
All right.
In Plato, Texas.
There you go.
Pluto, Texas, on Preston Road.
Fun to play with, not to eat.
In Chamblee, Georgia.
I'll let it lie.
All right. I've actually been to the city. Ivern, California.
Can't help you.
Nope.
Irvine, California.
It's Irvine. Okay.
There we go. All right, this is a tough city. Is it Orlando?
Orlando?
No, I know it's Orlando. I was making a joke. Orlando, Florida. Chicago, Illinois. Bellevue, Washington. Union Square, New York, and Santa Clara, California. So if you are near any of those cities, you can look up more specific locations of what GameStop out of the 100 GameStops in Chicago would be the one to go to. Registration opens at 10 a.m. local time. Competitions run from 11 to 5:30 p.m. And there's a quote from the marketing executive of Nintendo saying, "If you have fighting game skills and love all things Pokemon, but never had a chance to combine the two, the Pokken Tournament Early Access Competition is your chance to show off your skills."
I like that statement conjures the image of someone who's sitting at home and they have Street Fighter 2 Ultra Mega whatever, because I don't know, like 20 versions of that game. They have Street Fighter 2 in their right hand and they have like Pokemon Crystal in their left. Why can't I just have these at once?
Well, Street Fighter 5 just came out.
It did, yeah.
It looks so good.
It does look so. Street Fighter 5 has made me more excited for Pokken because
who's your main
in Street Fighter?
Yeah.
When I played 2 a lot, it was Blanca.
Is that the one that's like
The electric
Chupacabra?
The electric
Chupacabra.
Yeah. I also like E Honda a lot, but I know he's not in 5. I actually don't know who is in 5. But anyways, I got Street Fighter 4 when it first came out, when like I feel like Street Fighter was very, very hyped up when 4 came out. I was super excited. I got it, played a couple games. I was like looking at the move list going, man, this is really frustrating. Like it's very hard to learn. The learning curve is way up there. Played some online games, completely got demolished. Never played Street Fighter 4 again because way too competitive and it sits at a very high skill level. And then Street Fighter 5 came out just like last week and I was like, man, I want Street Fighter 5 so bad because I like fighting games, but I have no one to play with. And I remember the disaster that was Street Fighter 4 and my ego. And I'll just wait for Pokken. So I'm very excited for Pokken because that's like Street Fighter has like, I want a fighting game and Pokken is real close. So I'll just hold out to that. And Pokken looks good.
Are we going to do a Pokken tournament on any of the, wow, what is that word? Whoa, help me. I can't.
Twitch?
No. Conventions. At any of the conventions we're going to go to.
Oh, like Midwest conventions?
Like MGC and stuff.
Yeah, actually, we can talk about MGC real quick. So, Midwest Gaming Classic is in April in Brookfield, Wisconsin. It is a show that I've been going to. This will be, I believe, my 6th year there. They offered me a space upstairs. Normally, I'm downstairs in a pretty big room, I would say. But the last 2 years, we shared that room with Nintendo. Nintendo asked if they could share the space with us. We were like, yeah, definitely. And they were great guys, but Nintendo has a lot of things to give away, and a lot of people want those giveaways. And the room filled up extremely quickly, and it was very hard to move around, and it got very hot. And I think we both us and Nintendo agreed that this worked and would continue working if we got a bigger room. But the breakup
was a mutual decision.
Right. There were no bigger rooms available. So instead, we both took smaller rooms, but separate. This is how divorce works.
Oh.
Cut that out.
Yeah, we'll just cut that out. Grim episode. So we're going to be upstairs, which is really exciting. And it's going to be a smaller room, but the organizer was like, hey, Pokken's going to be probably pretty popular this year. Are you guys going to bring Pokken to the show? And I was like, well, I know I have a Wii U and I know I'm getting Pokken, but if I want to do a tournament for no prizes, by the way, because that is technically against the laws in Milwaukee County, and that's a whole nother story. But I do have a friend that I could borrow a Wii U from. I would probably have to go out and purchase another copy of Pokken, but it would be cool to Ethernet 2 Wii U's and do like a Pokken tournament over Midwest Gaming Classic. So that is the plan.
Cool.
I don't know the extent of it, but Will, are you coming to Midwest Gaming Classic?
What are the dates?
Yeah, make me open my calendar again.
Well, then probably not.
I think it is April 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Oh, that's so close.
I know. Well, it's over a month away. You get time.
Ugh. Travel. Let me get some scratch first.
When's Gen Con?
Gen Con is August 4th?
Yeah, it's the first week in August. We pretty much just booked hotels for that whole week.
August 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Okay.
So, yeah. And we can talk about that closer to the tournaments. And then, well, I'll also be at C2E2 doing a live panel. That is Sunday, March 20th? 20th or 27th? Whoa.
March 2020th.
March 2020th. In Chicago, and we'll get to that. We'll talk about that more as we get closer. Back to Pokken, though. The question was asked, is Pokken coming to 3DS?
Really?
And the answer is probably not.
Oh,
Who asked that question?
GameSpot. Not to be confused with Games. So a reputable video game company. If you were hoping the upcoming Pokken tournament would eventually be released on 3DS, you better sit down. It's not very likely that the fighting game will be making its way to the Nintendo handheld. GameSpot interviewed two Japanese people with very complicated names about Pokemon tournament and asked if there were any considerations bringing the game to 3DS. It's definitely a challenge to get it on Wii U with what we were doing right now, and it's definitely would be a challenge to have the same graphical experience on 3DS. Hadara said that it's less about technology and more about needing the money to do it. A programmer doesn't need technology. A programmer needs a budget, Hadara said, laughing. Pokken Tournament makes its way to Wii U on March 18th. One of the games that did make a leap from Wii U to 3DS is Hyrule Warriors, blah, blah, blah.
Programmer doesn't need technology. A programmer needs a budget.
It's a real good quote, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much was. I feel like it was pretty much like we would do it if they gave us the money to, but they're not going to. Well, yeah. Let's. I don't think we've ever run through all the characters in Pokken Tournament, so let's touch on that real quick.
You got your Mewtwo. You got your weird new Mewtwo that isn't the same as normal Mewtwo. You got your Gengar. You got your Lucario. You've got probably Charizard, right?
Yeah.
Pikachu.
Oh yeah. And Pikachu. Okay, so. There are 16 playable characters currently added. We have your Blaziken.
Oh, yeah?
You have your Braxton.
That one's weird, but go for it, sure.
Cool. Chandelure.
That one's weird, but...
I hope Chandelure is good, because that's the one I want to play the most.
Is it like punch with the...
Yeah, like punches
glance?
with it. Yeah. We have your Charizard. Go figure. We have your Garchomp. No love for Garchomp. We have your Gardevoir, Gengar, Lucario, Machamp, Mewtwo, Pikachu, Pikachu Libre. It is a different character. Sceptile, Shadow Mewtwo, Suicune, and a Weavile. A lot of these Pokemons are megas.
Wait, what?
Gengar, Lucario, Blaziken can mega, Charizard, Gardevoir can mega, Sceptile can mega.
I was looking at Weavile, and I'm like, I wish there was a Mega Weavile. That would be awesome.
Wouldn't surprise me if that was coming. And there are also 30 non-playable assist Pokemon that can be summoned in battle to aid the player. These come in groups of 2 Pokemon, so you have to pick both of them together. You have Snivy and Lapras, Emolga and Fennekin, Frogadier and Eevee.
These are weird combinations.
It sounds like Travis walked away from his mic and was making
I
a
know.
sandwich and was like, yeah, those are pretty weird as he's like buttering some toast.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm out of butter.
Jirachi and
Should have thought of the store.
Whimsical. Can't even say it. Miss Magius and Ninetales. This is a good combination. Farfetch and Electrode. Togekiss,
Sure.
Togekiss and Rotom. Dragonite and Victini. That one sounds a little OP. Krogunk and Sylveon. Pachirisu and Magikarp.
That classic duo.
You got your Cubone and Diglett. Feel like there's a joke there somewhere. Magneton and Quagsire. Espeon and Umbreon. Yveltal.
See, that would make sense.
I know, that's not even funny at all.
No. Yveltal and Latios. That's a little weird. Wouldn't it be Yveltal and Xerneas?
Well, no.
Wait, so Latias isn't represented?
No, I don't think so.
This is just another case of the Oscars. Oh, wait, no, it's not that the Oscars have no women in them. It's that Oscars are all white. Continue. I did the joke wrong. Just keep going.
Speaking of white, Reshiram and Cresselia.
But no Zekrom.
No, Zekrom and Latios. They'll get a team maybe down the line, hopefully. Latias. Yeah, those are your 30 assist characters, and those are your 16 main characters. Shadow Mewtwo is exclusive to people who get the little card to unlock, I believe. I think you can unlock him through standard playing the game, but if you want to unlock him instantly, you need that.
And you just
Amiibo
get that
card
from getting. Oh, it's the Amiibo card. Okay.
Yeah, the Amiibo card.
Do you think there's going to be more characters that will be added?
I read an article that there were no more planned characters, but I cannot confirm or deny that because I don't know when or where I read that, but I thought I did.
I
I'm
would be
really unhappy I
astonished
can't
if they
play as
didn't
a
add one.
Sunkern. Ugh.
Yeah, I would imagine that adding a character would be a bit complicated just in terms of balance and
Smash Bros.
Yeah. I hope that it's good. I'm excited for it. I hope that they do update it if, Charizard has a flamethrower that's just overpowered. I hope that there's an update that says like Charizard's flamethrower has been reduced by 0.05% to balance the game. That'd be really cool.
Nerf
It's just
Charizard. Nerf Charizard
I'm
already.
already calling for it. Yup.
hashtag Nerf Charizard.
How come there's no
Buff Pikachu
Blastoise?
Libre.
Yeah, there's no Blastoise.
Like it goes Mega Blastoise with the what is it called? What is his thing? Mega Launcher. That'd be so great. Ugh.
There's no like Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee. You figured those would be like obvious, easy choices.
There's no Primeape.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of
Primeape
fire
would be
type-
so good.
A lot of fire type Pokemon.
Yeah, we all knew that Pikachu was like a given and stuff. It was just interesting to see Pokemon like Suicune and Chandelure make it in. Although I can't be upset about Chandelure. But what will we?
Chandelure mains, am I right?
We got 3 more news articles, but let's take a quick break. We'll tackle those news articles, and then we have our Pokemon of the week when we come back. And we are back from our break. Some more news for you. The Masuda Psyduck will be distributed in Pokemon Center stores in Japan. To celebrate the Pokemon 20th anniversary, Pokemon Game Director Masuda will be holding signing events at several Pokemon Centers in Japan. Masuda's Psyduck will also be available at each signing session to players of only Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. People will be selected to participate in the signing sessions by lottery. The signing sessions will be held at the following times: Pokemon Center Mega Tokyo, not to be confused with regular Tokyo, on March 3rd at 1 p.m. Pokemon Center Hiroshima on March 19th, 1:30 p.m. And Pokemon Center Fukuoka?
I think it's Fukuoka.
Okay. On March,
Something like that.
our resident Japanese expert, Andrew, will be more than happy to help us in the future with these.
Here's the thing. Andrew has already multiple times told us how to pronounce, I guess, all of those things, but that does not mean that any of the three of us have the memory to do it.
Hey, I think I got Hiroshima pretty good.
No, because it's the emphasis is on the O part. And I think the O's are more like O's, so it's more like Hiroshima. Like that. And like Fukuoka.
We'll be back next week with proper Japanese city names.
What I'm saying here is that Andrew has already taken the time to make videos of himself pronouncing these things correctly, and I just feel bad that he doesn't get anything out of this.
I mean, we're trying, Travis. Speaking of pronouncing things wrong.
Yeah, you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. So the new Pokemon Meganium
Yeah, I think you got it.
got an actual English name, which I butchered last week and was corrected. I don't have that name in front of me, but I believe it's Meganium.
Yes.
And obviously, I said last week that I know I'm getting it wrong. And I was explaining to Will because I saw Mage, M-A-G-E, and I didn't see Gear. And I was trying to think of, like, why did I miss that? Am I that dumb? But then I'm looking at the Japanese name, and I can say that very easily, Meganium. And then I was like, oh, M-A-G, Meg. That's why I saw Mage right away.
No, the Japanese name is Magiana.
Well, close enough.
Whatever.
Whether I say Meganium or Magiana, it still starts with Mag.
That's true.
Can't argue with that.
Margarina. That's what her real name is. The butter Pokemon. I can't
believe it's not Butterina.
So Magirna is what we're going with, right?
Yeah, look, I would say. I mean, it is weird, right? How it's spelled, Magirna. It is certainly Magirna, but it's
yes, it is. I
am on your side, Steve, and that it is a weirdly. It's hard to suss out how to pronounce it unless you think, oh, it's because it has gears.
Yeah, it's shocking that we've come 700 and some Pokemon later, and we're still getting separate Japanese and English names. And Victini is a good example of a Pokemon name that is universal.
Mm-hmm.
So you just look at Meganium, or however you said that, Will.
Well,
and like that looked like an appropriate English name. Like that seemed fine.
But we wouldn't really get in English. We would, because they're all supposed to be puns, and we wouldn't really get the pun there.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, we don't really with Pikachu either, but
I mean, we get the Pika and we get the Chew.
Am I missing something? What pun in English? Because isn't like Chew the sound for in Japanese that mice make, and Pika is like shine or something?
What?
I might be making it all up, but Andrew, let us
Andrew, let us know. Travis, what are your thoughts of Magirna?
I think you already talked about it in the last one, but it sure looks a lot like Diancie. But I think it's cool. I mean, I'm a fan of like clockwork things.
Steampunk? You're a big old steampunk fan?
No, I draw the line. Okay,
all right,
I like clockwork robots. I have my D&D campaign right now centers around a bunch of clockwork robots. There's no goggles. There's no airships.
Well, let me ask you this, sir. Spacely Sprockets or Cogswell Cogs? Who do you pick?
What are either of those things?
What?
I feel like they're both from Fallout.
Are you guys... Wow, you just literally killed me. I'm dead. I'm a ghost. My spirit just jumped out of my body. Are you serious?
You become croaky.
So grim. So grim.
Have you
Edit that out.
never watched wait. Have you never watched a classic television program called The Jetsons?
No, I've never watched the
With
Jetsons.
George Jetson working for Spacely Sprockets and their enemy company, Cogswell Cogs.
Yeah, and they have the kids, and they're all wearing space stuff.
Wow.
They got the robot butler thing.
I get it. It's fine.
She's not a butler, she's a maid. Rosie. Wow. Oh, my poor animals just woke up and they think something really bad is happening because I'm dead.
Let's
They're
rewind a
gonna
bit here.
eat me. Oh.
Rewind a bit here. I was under the impression that this was going to be a Pokemon related to Diancie, Mega Diancie, breakdancing Diancie. But then I remembered.
By the way, Diancie had a great performance at the Super Bowl.
yeah, I agree.
Oh, her new song is Straight Fire. Straight Fire.
It's pretty rad.
But then I remembered Pokemon does dumb things like Tauros and Bouffalant and Love Disc and Aloha Mora.
Alamamola?
It's Alo Momola. Because it's a palindrome.
Yes.
Alo Momola.
So
Alo Momola.
I'm sure they'll have some deep lore explaining how so-and-so Pokemon probably saw an image of Diancie and was like, I want to build Magearna. But they will be completely unrelated, but that'll be the connection, because you can't not look at this new Pokemon and go,
What's the game theory TM 10 things you didn't know about Pokemon? Use strength to move the truck to find Mew. Isn't there something about that with Genesect? That Genesect, people think that Genesect is like a fossil, is like Kabutops or something.
oh, yeah.
Wait, do you want to know what is the pseudo lore around Magearna?
Yeah, sure.
That in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, one of the evil teams was talking about Project Azoth. And Azoth is the city that Volcanion takes Ash to in the upcoming movie where Magearna will be revealed. And you know Magearna is a human-made Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And the pseudo lore is that AZ from the X and Y games was the founder of Azoth. Notice how his name is repeated in there. And he created Magearna to show his Floette that he had regained his ability to love Pokemon.
It all comes full circle, people.
Did you steal what I posted in Slack about that?
Yes.
I'm like trying to.
What Travis asked.
I'm trying to look for it, but I lost it. Yeah, but they were under the what Will just said, under the assumption that it was with AZ and everything like that.
I've heard worse things, like if you look at Magearna's legs, they look like they could plug into Volcanion, so that they kind of like form a what is it, like the robots
Magearna
that
is like
form
a
together,
USB drive?
No, it's like Voltron, and then they form a greater Pokemon by the two of them combining together.
I'm listening.
That's all I have to say.
You had me at Voltron.
Oh, not Massinger. There you go. Dead silence. You guys don't know your combo robots.
There's a joke in there somewhere. Let's ask the hard question here. You think this is going to be a new type or not?
Steel Fairy. It's easy. Steel Fairy.
It could be a new type. Yes.
Undeniably Steel Fairy. What new type is that?
Well, we got two, Travis. If you weren't paying attention in the last 200 episodes, we have Moon type.
Now, how is that a moon?
Look, the bottom part could easily be a moon. It could be a Pokeball, as some have been saying, but
It looks exactly like a Pokeball. It's a circle around the middle.
or
Okay,
it could back up my theory of possibly.
I'm gonna stop you there. Moon type. So then, by the fact that it has a circle on it, by those standards, Electrode, Voltorb, Geodude, those are certainly all Moon type Pokemon.
Hey,
just
correct.
because it has a circle,
Moon
it's
Blast
clearly Steel Fairy.
is now a move. I'm just saying. Moon Moonblast. Anyways,
Yeah, but that's a fairy type move.
the real type that it could be is going. So I'm still under the impression that there will be at one point a sound type or something that revolves around all the moves that are sound based.
There's already a thing that revolves around all the moves that are sound based. It's called soundproof. They wouldn't. No, I don't. There's no way. I am the old curmudgeon. There's no way that they would introduce a sound type when they have an ability soundproof that would just completely shut. No.
No, they can adjust abilities. But somebody was suggesting that there could be a techno type.
Yeah, like a mecha type.
Which does lean more towards my sound type and making that sound type a reality. Because when I said love type, they introduced fairy, and I was kind of close. I knew they weren't going to call it love, but fairy is pretty much what as close as they're getting with that. So if it was
Down here, LV stands for love. Catch all these friendliness pellets.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Undertale
every
reference.
single listener of this show does. I bet you every single listener of this show knows that I was referencing Undertale.
Well, that's fantastic because I tried to enter a contest to win a free copy and I didn't. So I said, screw this game. Not interested. Y'all can have your memes all day long because I'll just mute you on Twitter the first time I see, what is it, Undyne? I don't care. Don't care.
There are tons of people that are just dying at my Sans impression right now.
It was pretty good. Did
you say Sains or isn't it Sans?
It's Sans.
What I said.
Sans and Papyrus.
Sains.
Roll back the tape of my Sans impression.
That was me rolling it back.
Thanks.
Techno type.
Y'all can play your garbage non-Pokemon games all day long. I'll be playing Pokemon with the real people.
Techno type. Could be a thing.
I agree.
So
Actually, I'll humor you for a little bit. What other Pokemon would fit in Technotype?
I think you would have Magneton. No, sorry. Yeah. No.
Yes.
Magnemite, Magneton,
that family, correct?
That family.
Yeah, Magnezone.
Magnezone, that's what I was thinking of.
But they're already Steel Electric. You take out their steel. You're taking out their steel?
Yeah,
Yes.
remove the steel.
Turning them into
Go.
mechas.
Robbing them of steel. Okay. I said I'll humor you.
What else we got? Will.
Something that's kind of like a robot. The Reggies, all of them.
You would redo the Reggies?
No.
Stop. Those are golems. Those are
No.
not mechanisms.
Oh.
That is a spit in the face of Jewish mythology to call a golem a mechanical thing. No, the golem is brought to life by the very word of God that is written on its forehead.
We're all familiar with the golem mythology.
I don't think you are if you think it's going to be a mech.
I'm saying I'm changing its type so that story no longer applies.
Voltorb and Electrode.
Yeah.
Which are Pokemon that use a lot of sound moves like Screech and Sonic Boom.
What about the ghost robot from
Rotom?
Golurk?
Gen 5.
Golurk is also just a golem. Try again. Nice try.
No, Golurk.
Strike two.
Golurk was man-made. Made by human hands.
So are golems. But they're
All
not
right.
robots.
Well, Golurk could easily change type to that.
And maybe your definition of robot is a little too limiting, that a golem couldn't be a robot. Maybe a golem
There
is
are
a
things that are
spiritual robot.
robots, and there are things that are not robots.
Obviously,
And golem
you
is
learned
not.
too much in your philosophy courses, sir, and you need to roll it back a little bit to get into tune with the real
Travis,
world.
Yeah, in my philosophy 302 class, the ontology of robots.
Well, maybe you're a robot, Travis.
let me tell you.
It does not compute.
Let me tell you the one Pokemon. The one Pokemon family that would benefit the most out of a sound or
Number 4
techno.
will shock you.
The most of a sound or techno type. That would be the Porygon family.
Yeah, sure. That's fair.
You could also do like Staryu, Starmie.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, because they're from. Yeah, because they're like space things.
Yeah, I agree.
Your definitions of robot is
Hey,
I
we're
don't even
grasping
know
at wires here.
is
There
any.
can be organic robots. There can be spiritual robots. Don't
Is
keep
that
your
what humans
imagination so
are?
limited.
Genesect.
Yes.
Genesect can go with a techno. It knows a move called Techno Blast.
By those standards, how is every Pokemon not a robot?
Every Pokemon is a robot. That's why you can put them in the computer.
I will say that Will made.
Pokemon digital monsters.
I will say that Will made a great point. I think 2 weeks ago, saying that they should get away from normal type. That there is no benefit of a normal. You're at a disadvantage if you're using a normal type Pokemon.
Normal is a really good defensive type, though.
Yeah,
Snorlax,
until
right?
Primeape shows up.
Snorlax is a great defensive Pokemon because it's only weak to fighting, has the immunity to Ghost. Normal's a great defensive type.
Wait, isn't normal weak against ground? Isn't that a thing?
No.
All right, carry on.
Poison is weak to ground, which is weird to me, but normal.
Yeah, I don't get that one.
Yeah, and then there were arguments of, well, Techno would be too close to Steel, but Ground and Rock are close, but they're very different, and Water and Ice are close, but they're very different. Bug and Poison are close, but they're very different.
That's true.
So yeah, I'm not saying that Magearna couldn't be Steel Fairy. It looks Steel Fairy, but that doesn't rule out a new type. And techno or technology.
Here first, folks. I am ruling out a new type. As of when is this episode going to come out, Steve?
February 22nd.
As of February the 22nd, I'm calling it. There will be no new type associated with Magearna.
But you're not saying no new type altogether.
Look, I don't have all the facts. All I know is I'm seeing this Magearna, and I'm saying that it is no way in relation to a new type. I can neither confirm nor deny the allegations that there may be a new type in the next game, but that theoretical new type will have no relationship to Magearna.
So I ran a Twitter poll asking if people would want a new type. 52% said yes, 48% said no.
Yeah.
I would love a new type, but I would also love more Pokemon in Pokken Tournament. I would also like more Pokemon games. I just want everything.
So they introduced Fairy because Dragon type was perceived to be too strong. What would the new type be used to balance?
What do you think's unbalanced right now?
Fairy.
I think
Ice is real strong offensively.
Ice is really bad defensively, though.
But offensively, like everything's using Ice Beam. Just Ice Beam's good.
Not as much anymore now that Fairy exists, because Ice Beam is included to combat dragons.
Rock Slide is probably the most OP move ever.
In doubles, yeah.
Yeah.
So rock type is too strong.
I feel like bug Pokemon still are way too weak. I feel like steel Pokemon are way too weak still. Besides
Really?
Scizor? I mean, no one's using Steelix.
Yeah, but you have like Scizor, you have Heatran, you have
Scizor is 4 times weak to fire.
Heatran has a unique combination though of fire and steel. You ain't getting that anywhere else.
But so even though Steel has like a decent number of weaknesses, it's resistant to so much that it's pretty good. And so many of the combinations that it's paired with, like with Scizor and like with Heatran. And tell me out, what other ones are there?
Magneton.
Even like Magnezone, right? Because one of its primary weaknesses is ground, and you can add in like Air Balloon. The fact that there's things like Heatran and Magnezone that double up on that ground weakness that can be effectively negated with Air Balloon makes it so that the weaknesses of Steel defensively are not as bad because you can pair it with other types. And Scizor is a case where there's only one weakness.
Wait, fire. Oh, fire.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, fire?
I just said Scizor is 4 times weak to fire.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh, I really want to make a... Well, I don't. I want someone to make a parody of Add the Drive-In song, One-Armed Scissor, but One-Armed Scizor. Someone go do that. Get back to me.
They actually had an email about somebody wrote in saying that they did not want a new type and they had a reason why. I'll look that up.
It's probably just me.
Because the game is complicated enough as it is.
Here we go.
It is.
So we're not gonna do emails this week just because we still have one news article to talk about and we still have Pokemon of the Week. But that doesn't mean you cannot send in your emails, which would be at sbj@pkmncast.com, or you can go to pokemonpodcast.com and hit the contact button. You can send in an email. But we will read Joseph K's email here just because I have it up.
Old Joey K?
The only Joey K in, it doesn't say what state he's from. Joseph
Probably
writes in,
Canada.
Hey, Logan, Steve, Will, and or Travis. Since I mentioned him first, Logan probably won't even be on the show to appreciate it. Oh, it's so good.
And the rest.
I wanted to reply to Steve's comment in the last short episode, adding a new type for Magearna. I was one of the people that voted in the Twitter poll that I do not want to see any new types for a while. This wasn't necessarily because of the...
Come to the dark side.
This wasn't necessarily because...
Brace your hatred of new types.
Because of the long gap between Dark Steel and Fairy, or even because I thought it would damage the metagame in some way. Though I do think it would be a weird move in that regard. Instead, I want to point out that rather than the first in a series of Pokemon for Generation 7, which would imply new rules and maybe a new type, the announcement of Magearna seems to be on track on tacking on to the end of a Generation 6, sort of artificially expanding the life of the current games, in a similar way that Diancie and Volcanion were intended to do so, though they were leaked way before they were officially introduced. That, combined with the fact that Magearna is starring in a movie with Volcanion and could easily pass for the Steel Fairy type, makes me suspect that this isn't the beginning of Sound type or Glass type. Ooh, I never heard of that one before. Or whatever, just some more usage of the fairy mechanic. Thanks for all you guys do, and you should totally do Torterra for Pokemon of the Week one of these days.
Ooh, too bad we chose another one.
Yeah, but we've done Torterra in the past.
Have we?
Oh yeah, look at that stupid tree thing.
Yeah, it has Pokemon of the Week written all over it.
I never heard of Glass type, but that sounds real appealing.
Too fragile.
Well, so is Ice.
It brings new meaning to the phrase Glass Cannon.
I was going to say Glass House.
People in Glass Pokemon shouldn't throw stones or whatever.
Okay, let's go over the Pokemon that could be Glass type. The Chronogonal thing.
Cryogonal.
That could be Glass Ice.
Cryogonal's weird.
He's real weird.
It's a real awesome Pokemon, though.
What else could be Glass?
Nothing. I don't think Glass is a good type. Stop. Just stop. I can't take it. Stop.
All right, only one Glass Pokemon, Chronogonal.
Cryogonal.
All right, moving on. Good points in the email. My only rebuttal to that would be, why wasn't Magearna in the code like all these other legendaries were that were discovered early?
It's gonna be in the code of Z.
Pokemon Z.
Pokemon's Emerald?
Pokemon Omega's Emerald.
Speaking of Pokemon Z, the anime has debuted, Pokemon XYZ, and Will has seen the first episode.
Yeah, because it was on yesterday. It was pretty good.
Pretty good or really good?
No, it was only pretty good. I have some concerns about the direction they're heading, but seeing as it's the first episode of a new season, I will...
Does that mean Ash gets all his Pokemon reset? Are we back to square one?
No. New season, not new series.
Okay, what is he sporting? Give us the rundown.
Well, I mean, he's got his Greninja. And in the opening sequence, they actually show Ash Greninja.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's got Hawlucha. He's got...
Man, Hawlucha is such a cool Pokemon.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Wow, they actually had them all come out because they were introducing them to another Pokemon.
Does he have his Muck still? Is his Muck there?
No, Gen 1er.
God,
Captain
Muck is
Gen
so
1.
Cool.
Sorry, Gen 1's living with... I mean, Muck is living with Professor Oak, so they're having a good old time.
I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, what? I have no idea what you're implying.
No idea.
I don't know what you're implying.
But I mean, he's got a lot of cool Pokemon. And there's Serena's got her.
Didn't he have a
Braixen?
No, wait, that was black and white. Never mind.
And Dedenne is there looking all cute. But here's the main thing. And this is really, I really think people should watch XYZ just because it has one thing that is very different than any Pokemon cartoon ever has, wherein there is a Pokemon in the show that has never been in a Pokemon game. And that is the forms of Zygarde. And they just had the first one show up. And it was like, I actually tweeted yesterday.
One? Or is it the little weird baby
The
one?
cell?
They show all three, and there's actually two types of cells.
Is it in 3 different ones, or is it one that turned into all 3?
It is 3. I'm not going to spoilerate that, but there are actually 2 types of cells.
Is one a Zorua and then one's a Ditto?
One is a core, and then one is a cell. But I was excited because for the first time, at least as far as I know, in Who's That Pokemon, they so anyways, right, Bonnie, who is Clamont's little sister, she named the little Zygarde core Squishy. And then when they did Who's That Pokemon, it was the Zygarde core. But then when it came back, it came back and it said, Who's that Pokemon? And it was like Squishy. Because it doesn't exist as a real Pokemon yet. So they're really doing something interesting, like with inverting the appearance of
Way to
this new
spoil
Pokemon.
Who's That Pokemon.
It was Squishy, okay?
I have
don't-
money riding on that.
I find that very interesting. And then at the end of the episode, because most people probably, if you don't watch it, you're not going to watch it. They did show Alain from the Mega Evolution specials crossing paths with Ash and the gang. So you know that they're going to have an interaction coming up.
So, point of correction, that isn't the first time they've had a Pokemon that hasn't been in a game in the...
Oh, all right. Okay.
Because they've had,
But it was
Arrow
actually like
first
featured and interactive, not like Ho-Oh in the beginning.
No. We're talking Marill
Oh, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
in the Pokemon movie and Pikachu's
Adventure.
Vacation. Is that one that?
Pikachu's Vacation. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. I will correct your correction because for as far as how the cartoon is not canon to the true story of Pokemon reality, the movies
here
are
we
even
go.
worse. The movies have nothing to do with the reality of the Pokemon.
And I'm glad.
world.
I'm glad that's the fact. I mean, I've talked a few weeks ago about how weird it is that in the movie they imply that Ash is like the descendant of Lucario Nightman. That's pretty weird.
Hey, once you make out with a Pokemon like Ash did, you can do anything.
Why do you keep bringing that up?
'Cause
This
this-
says more about you than it says about the movie.
Travis,
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
can you give us an update on Super Mystery Dungeon?
Oh, I haven't really played it.
All right, there's your update.
Pokemon Rumble World physical copies coming out at the end of April, I believe.
Yes, that was part of the news.
Hoping that will.
I did have an email asking Travis for his status of Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon.
Oh, I'm
Ugh.
sorry. I
You
gotta
just-
get on that.
Did it just not grab you? You just didn't have time?
As I mentioned when we first talked about it, there's like hours of gameplay that are still like technically the tutorial, and it's just not grabbing me is a good way to put it, because it's like if I go back, I'm still in like tutorial missions.
Ugh. That just blows me away. Yeah, that's shocking. Last bit of news, though, that we'll mention is Pokemon Rumble World physical retail version set for North American release. The physical retail version of the free-to-start Nintendo 3DS eShop title Pokemon Rumble World has been confirmed for North America release on April 29th. The physical game removes all microtransactions present in the eShop version. The player will immediately start with 3,000 Poke Diamonds and the Poke Diamond Digger, which will allow players to collect 40 more Poke Diamonds once a day. Is that a lot of diamonds, Will?
40? Yes.
All right.
Wow. I usually get like 1 at most 2 a day, and I play every single day, and I need like 50 more just to get another balloon.
The eShop version was released on April 8th, 2015. The physical version was released in Japan on November 19th, and in Europe on January 22nd, and Australia on January 23rd. So we as in America, will be getting it last. But I wonder if the save data is separate from the eShop version. Like, I wonder if you'd have to start over, Will, if you bought the physical.
Yeah, I have wondered that myself. And I need somebody else to find out for me because I have far too much time invested in that game
To like start over.
run the risk.
How much, if you wanted to buy 3,000 Poke Diamonds though in the microtransaction one, how much does that run you?
I think it was like if you spent $30, you just unlocked everything.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it's 1,000 diamonds for $9.99, but you don't get the 40 a day.
Yeah, but once you buy 5,000 diamonds, it does something where it's like you never need to buy another diamond ever again.
Oh, okay. Got it. All right, well, that wraps it up for news. Who would have thought there was Pokemon news there? When you're listening to this, if you're listening to it the week of February 22nd, which this episode will come out, there will be the Pokemon 27th anniversary this coming Saturday.
20th anniversary.
Is that not what I said?
You said 27th anniversary.
Oh, sorry. It's
all
on
of a sudden I was in my 50s.
It's on February 27th. Mixing up numbers. It will be this Saturday, February 27th, 20th anniversary. We do expect a game announcement then. At least I expect it. I think everyone here also expects something big to happen. It's Saturday. Hopefully Travis and Will and I can come back Sunday morning and report and do a podcast of everything that will happen on Saturday. So that is the plan. Expect this crew next week with your new glass type and or techno type to be revealed. No, I doubt that's gonna
Mecha type.
The mecha type. Let's wrap things up here with Pokemon of the Week. This week's Pokemon of the Week. Yeah, I've just been hitting random on Bulbapedia, and Heatmore was the first Pokemon that popped up. Heatmore is a cool Pokemon. He is the ant eater Pokemon.
He's very steampunk.
Not enough gears.
Yeah, but he's got that tailpipe coming out his back.
I like Pokemon that have rivalries with other Pokemon. So Heatmore and Durant and Seviper and Mongoose Pokemon. What's his name?
Zangoose.
That was close. The old Mongoose. Travis, you got a moveset for Heatmore?
Let's do something weird. We're already picking Heatmore. So let's do Heatmore. Look, Heatmore's it's a weird Pokemon. It kind of doesn't really even fit with the aesthetic of Gen 5. It's kind of just there. If you're picking Heatmore, you want to do something weird anyway. So let's get weird. We're going to do Assault Vest Heatmore. Now, if you remember, Assault Vest is an item that makes it so the downside is you can't use any moves that are non-damaging. You have to use all damaging moves. However, Assault Vest is an item that has the downside where you can't use any non-damaging moves. So all of your moves have to be damaging moves, no status moves. However, it increases your special defense by 50%.
50?
Yep.
Dang.
Yep.
It's pretty good. 50% on your special defense.
But only your special defense, right?
Right. Let's get weird. Let's do Assault Vest Heatmore. You're going to want Flash Fire because that's actually a pretty good ability. Makes you immune to fire attacks and makes your fire attacks more powerful when you are hit by a fire attack. So you can have something like a Scizor out and then... Wow, if your team has Scizor and Heatmore, I have no idea what kind of person you are. We're using like the most competitive Pokemon on the planet and Heatmore. Anyway, you can have something 4 times a week to fire and then bait out a fire type move, switch into Heatmore. It gets the Flash Fire bonus, making its fire type moves stronger. We want that fire type move, and that's going to be Fire Blast. We're going to do Giga Drain as well, because it's kind of cool that it gets Giga Drain. Focus Blast is another special attack move that it can learn. I had a 4th move.
Inferno?
No, we already got Fire Blast.
Bit Up?
No.
Swallow?
Yeah, that's what we're getting. No.
Thunder Punch?
No, we gotta do special. We're going special attack.
Belch?
Oh, I think I was just gonna do
I never even knew there was a move called Belch, but that looks
Belch is
pretty
cool.
sweet.
It eats your berry, and that, or it only works if you've eaten a berry.
Oh, then
Let's
you could do a Gluttony Heat More Belch.
Or you could not. Probably just like hidden power, whatever strikes your fancy. So Fire Blast, Giga Drain, Focus Blast, then hidden power. I guess you'd want something good against. You've already got ground covered. You've already got water covered.
Rock?
You've already got rock covered with Giga Drain.
Oh, yeah. Dragon?
Hidden power ice, sure. Give it that assault vest we were talking about. Give it a whatever the nature is that decreases your physical attack. And well, no, scratch that. Just do modest. That's probably because you're gonna want to actually be able to take things out. And then you can do 252 EVs and HP and special attack. And call it a day. Is it gonna be good? No, you picked Heatmore.
I like it. I like that.
Heatmore has a decent shiny. It's like a rich red and like a darker black, opposed to its very mellow red and more of a brownish. And as said earlier, Heatmore is being the natural predator of Durant, reflected on their types. Heatmore and Durant share a lot of similarities. They share the same level rate. They share the same catch rate, hatch time, base experience yield, total base stats, and gender ratio. And if you didn't know, Heatmore is based on an anteater. That is why it's the anteater Pokemon. That's about it. It's appeared in the anime a couple times.
Sure, why not? There's worse Pokemon out there.
No, it's pretty cool.
Mega Heatmore. I called it.
Mega Heatmore. Here we come.
Heatmore's fine, but I always the sound of someone saying the new Pokemon don't feel like Pokemon is nails on the chalkboard to me, which I'm sure I don't have to. I'm sure I'd be preaching to the choir if I said why. But Heatmore,
I think Heatmore
that criticism
would make a
of
good
Heatmore
Mecha
I
type.
would get.
I would add Mecha type to Heatmore, since he's got the tailpipe and the intake filters and all that kind of
does
stuff.
have a tailpipe.
You're just trying to make me mad now.
Well, like I look at Heatmore and Durant like a lot like
Durant would make a good Mecha type.
there you go. I look at Heatmore and Durant just like Scyther and Pinsir. They were just two cool Pokemon that just fit together as a pair. The difference is Scyther got Scizor the next generation, and then eventually we got Mega Pinsir, 17 years later.
Mega Pinsir's so rad.
But yeah, I just see those two as like, you could say, oh, Heatmore doesn't really fit. Like, no, he definitely fits. He's just a single Pokemon that has a rival, and both those Pokemon get forgotten together. And they shouldn't, because they're cool.
Durant's sweet.
I ran a really competitive Durant back 3 years ago, and it was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It worked. It worked some other Pokemon up and down.
It's true. I was there. There's a Maractus involved too.
Maractus. Now that's a cool Pokemon. Well, I think that wraps up our show. I will give a Pokemon a happy 20th anniversary in advance. We will be back the day after their 20th anniversary to report on what has gone down. I expect there will be a lot of Pokemon stuff this week, so check PokemonPodcast.com for that. I will
Or Twitter.com/Pokemon Podcast.
Yep, I will do my best.
PKMNcast, which is it?
Pokemon Podcast on Twitter.
All the way spelled out.
I will do my best to get that updated as fast as possible. Obviously, we're not known for reporting on news coverage, but if there's
we're the first.
Sometimes.
Because there are times when people are trying to stamp their watermark on it or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're just we don't care. We don't need to expand the brand.
Right, yeah. I don't need a watermark of PNG that Pokemon has sent me to put on my website. They sent it to everyone. I will just tweet it out. And if I get new PNGs and JPEGs this week, you will see them on Twitter before anyone else, because I just tweet them instantly for anyone to use, because Eventually, they will show up on Bulbapedia, and you will use them anyways. Travis is at the Travis W.
You got it.
Will is at Washing the Sink.
I am
I am at Dragging a Lake.
You got it.
This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
Super effective.
Super effort values.